Hi, welcome to the Quantity Surveying Studio. In this video, I'll be discussing a very important topic called extension of time. So this is one of the most important responsibility of a quantity surveyor. Responsibility can be only done with proper coordination with all the other departments. The site department, the execution team, the procurement team, the quality department, the document controller, the planning department. So with a proper coordination with all these departments and getting the right inputs from them, only with those inputs, a decent extension of time claim can be created and the same can be submitted to the client. So this task is a very important task. And by the end of this video, even if you have not done this practically, you can easily explain it to anyone who asks you about extension of time. And in any interview, if an interviewer is asking if you have knowledge about EOT, you can easily explain it to them and impress them. So without further delay, let's move into this video. So first, let's get an introduction. So in any construction project, it is inevitable to avoid any delays. It rarely happens that a construction project gets completed in the right time as per the original schedule. So mostly every project will have delays, and for that reason, this EOT claim is the most common type of claim that is being carried out in a construction project by the contractor. So contractor is the one who raises an EOT claim, and almost every time there will be a conflict that occurs between the client and the contractor with regard to the data and the backups that is provided to prove this claim. If all your data and your inputs is perfect, then there is no reason for the client to reject it. If all your inputs that you receive from your other departments and if all the backups, the correspondences and the communications are properly filed and documented, and if the calculations of the cost, all the related costs to this extension is done properly, then there is no reason why client can question you. But most of the cases, initially there would be a rejection, there would be a lot of doubts, there would be a lot of questions happening, lot of a long review will happen. So this is EOT claim is usually a long process. It is not that once the contractor submits it within a week or a few days, the client will just approve it and you will be paid that EOT claim. It is not like that. There will be a lot of review happening. The client will be going through all the documents that has been submitted, and there will be questioning regarding each document, and only after that proper deep checking, the claim will be finally accepted or rejected. What are the different components of a EOT claim? You have the delay analysis, calculation and evidence for time related cost, then communications and correspondences. So we'll look into each one in detail in the coming slides. Delay analysis. So let's look how the delays occur in a construction project. So there are three ways by which a delays takes place in a construction project. First one is the delays that is caused by the contractor. The next is the delays that is prompted by the client or his representatives. Then we have the external delays, which is just an unexpected and uncontrollable natural delays. So we look onto each of these in detail. So how does the contractor delays takes place? Normally it takes place due to lack of workforce or poor productivity, mismanagement of works, weak procurement process. A EOT cannot be claimed for these reasons because these are delays that is carried out by the contractor themselves. So it is always advisable that these delays don't occur, or if at all, if something like this occurs, to manage it in a proper way. So, and if at all such kind of delays occur, the client has all the right to penalize or terminate the contractor as per the terms and conditions that has been laid down in a contract agreement. So, as a contractor, the management team of the contractor should make sure that such delays don't occur at all in a construction project, and if even if it is occurring, the EOT cannot be claimed for such delays. Next are the client delays. Now, the client delays are mainly payment delays, then the approval and instruction delays. If such delays happen, then the contractor has all the right to request for a EOT because this is not happening because of their problem. And whatever cost is incurred due to this additional time frame, that can be claimed in this EOT claim. For example, if a particular month's payment is delayed, contractor can explain to the client that since payment is delayed, the material could not be procured, or the salaries could not be paid properly, or there could not be proper managing of the site due to the payments. So for that reason, there is some delays happening. And again, approval and instruction delays. Any site related approvals required, or if any execution related instructions that need to be carried out. If such things are getting delayed, again, the completion of the project will be getting extended from the original schedule. If such delays happen, then definitely the contractor has all the right for claiming. Next are the external delays. These delays are the natural delays or something that happens due to natural occurrences like adverse weather conditions, riots, civil wars, approval delay by authorities, that is by some electricity, water authorities, or some other government related authorities, municipality related authorities. So, such delays is not controllable, it is not in your hand. It is not either contractor's hand or in client's hand. So, these events are always called shared risk events or natural events which cannot be controlled by both contractor and client. And again, contractor is entitled to EOT and the cost that is incurred for such occasions. But again, it will depend upon what is written down in the contract agreement. Sometimes this entitlement, this cost related will be some maximum percentage will be laid down, or some maximum a certain amount will be laid down, or it might be a shared cost incurring, that is whatever cost is incurred, it will be shared between the contractor and the client, because it is not the problem of the client also. So depending upon what is mentioned in the contract agreement, according to that the cost will be paid to the contractor. Now let's look into some delay analysis methods. The most common type of methods are these three: impact as planned, collapsed as built, and as planned versus as built. There are some other methods also, but these are the most three important common ways by which a delay analysis is carried out. So let's look into each of these. Impact as planned. So what is impact as planned? So in this method, the delay events are inserted into a baseline or a as planned schedule. So in every project, there will be a baseline schedule. Baseline schedule is the original schedule that's made in a planning software like Primavera or Microsoft project, MS project. So it is usually done by the planning team. And if you see in this example, the first part is the baseline schedule where the different steps are laid down. And after the project is completed, the delay events are inserted into this plan. So if you see here, if you see down here, this is your baseline schedule. You have the slab pour, after that the framing will take place, and then the MEP rough, and then the drywall. So this much is the actual project completion period. So the project gets completed here. But in actual, what happened is some delay happened after the framing, and for the MEP rough-in to start, there was some delay. So this event is inserted into the original schedule. So once that is inserted, this original schedule will get extended towards this part. So initially it should have been finished here, but now it got finished here. So this difference is your delay period. So that is your extended time. So this is how impact as planned method by which you get your extended days by how much the project got extended. Now let's look into collapsed as built. So this is just a reverse of the impact as planned technique. That is, the delay events are subtracted from the as built schedule. So here there is no need of a baseline schedule. That requirement is not there. But once the complete project is done, a as-built schedule is made, and from that delay events are subtracted. So let's see an example. a few examples I have made. So if you see here, this is the original, like the as-built schedule. That is, once a project is completed, you make the schedule. So as the project is going on, the schedule gets updated with the events. It gets updated. If you see here, it started here around September 2015 and it got over by this period. That's around May 2017. So this is your original as-built schedule with the actual completion period, including all the delays. Now, in this method, what happens is all these delays are get subtracted from the as-built. So here, if you see, the collapsed schedule, as-built schedule is made. So here it is. If you see here, as-built schedule with the HMA cost delays. HMA is, I guess, some like the client name here. Then this is as-built schedule collapsed. So all the delay events are subtracted, and after subtracting, you see that the completion period is coming to December 2016. So the meaning is, if the delays had not occurred, this project would have been completed by this period. So this gap, the project would have been completed if the delays were not there by 22 December 2016, but it got completed by May 2017. So around May 18, 2017. So that difference is your delayed days, and you can claim all your cost related to these number of days, that delayed days. So hope it is clear. I'll give you one more example. So here if you see, this is the as-built schedule, and the yellow ones are the delays due to the client, and the blue ones are due to the contractor himself. You see here, contractor cost delays and owner cost delays. So after the as-built, the project is completed, all these yellow ones are deleted in the collapsed schedule. If you see here, as per the original completion, I mean the original as-built, it should have been completed by this time, but once the delays are subtracted, it got completed here. So there is a 10 days gap. So here it was completed by 170 days, but once your delay got deleted, it should have been completed by 160 days. So 10 days is your delayed number of days, and you can, as a contractor, you can show this schedule, show this backup, and get the claim approved for 10 days. And now the cost related to that needs to be calculated. And the third method is the as planned versus as built, wherein you need to have both your baseline schedule, that is the original completion schedule, and the original as built schedule, the as built that is done after your completion of project, and both of these are compared. So here what happens is compare what actually happened to what was supposed to happen. So if you see here, this is your original baseline schedule, that's as planned, and this is the as built. So once the project is completed, you make this schedule and compare it with the original schedule, and from that you can get, so as per original it should have been completed by this time, but actually it got completed by this time. So this difference, this many days are the overall delay. These number of days can be obtained from whichever software in which you are making this baseline schedules. So from that you can easily get the number of days of delay. Now there are other delay analysis methods also, like time slice window analysis, time impact analysis, and longest path analysis. So these are methods that needs more explanation, and I'll try to make videos on this. These are like not that commonly used methods. The other three which I explained are the most common ones. Now let's see the time related cost. So we saw how you can calculate the number of days that is extended. So once that is done, you need to calculate the time related cost of these days, because your project got extended. Now you have some cost related to those days that needs to be incurred, and that is what you need to claim. So what all you can claim, these are the different components that can be claimed. You have the site office cost. So these are the direct costs, like you have the office cabin rentals, utility bills, stationaries, then the depreciation cost of computers, printers, scanners, tools. So these are the site office costs. Then you have the site overhead, that is the salaries and the cost of the site management team. Even if the project gets extended, there will be your site team there, and you have to pay them the salaries, then the overtime, leave provisions, annual time, flight allowances, end of service benefits. All these are calculated for the extended period only. So accordingly, you need to calculate for this time frame, the extended time frame, whatever is incurred. Then the head office overheads, the management and admin costs for running head office like office rent, salaries. And finally, the finance and insurance related costs, that is the bond renewal charges for the extended period, then the interest for the delayed release of retention. So the site office cost and the site overheads are calculated. It is like direct calculation. You have all your bills, the salaries being paid, you have the backup document of all this. Calculating your head office is a bit tricky. I've already made video on this. I'll give you the different ways, the methods by which this head office overhead is calculated. And the finance and insurance related costs also, we have some formulas. I'll explain these formulas in the coming slides. So as I mentioned earlier, head office overheads, these are the three formulas by which this is calculated, and I have made a detailed video on it. I'll put that video in the description. You can just go through that video. These are the three formulas: the Hudson formula, Emden formula, and Ecklege formula. So you can just go through that video to get an idea about the head office overheads, how it is calculated. Then we have the finance and insurance related costs, which is the bond renewal charges and delayed release of retention. So the bond renewal charges is depending upon the extension of time. When your project gets extended again, your performance bond is there, that also needs to be extended. The validity of your performance bond needs to be extended. So usually the performance bond is 10% of the contract value, and the renewal percentage per annum is usually 0.25% for most projects. But again, depending upon your project, it might vary. So based on that, your bond renewal charge, the formula to find out that is your bond value into the renewal percentage per annum into that number of days for which the project got extended, or divided by 365. So if you have this formula, can claim for these bond renewal charges. So if you see this example, your contract value is 10 million. The performance bond will be 10% of 10 million, that is 1 million. Let's say your renewal percentage per annum mentioned in the contract is 0.25%. And after doing all your delay analysis, the days extended that is found out is 100 days. So based on the formula, you will get 684 as the bond renewal charges. Again, you can claim for the interest for the delayed release of retention. The retention amount is normally 10% of the contract value, and half of it is released once you get your taking over certificate, once the project is completed, and the remaining half is released after completion of the defect liability period. But again, delay in the project will delay the release of these retention amount. So the contractor can claim the loss of interest amount of this retention. Since the contractor is getting paid the retention, it is getting delayed, the interest on it can be claimed as a part of the EOT claim, and this formula is the bank interest percentage per annum into the days delayed by 365 into the retention amount. So bank interest percentage again needs to be mentioned down in the contract, or every bank will have certain percentage from where the retention has been claimed. That bank, in the bond, it will be mentioned how much percentage is the bank interest per annum. So again, if you see this example, 10 million is the contract value, retention amount will be 10% of that, and it's 1 million. Let's say the bank interest percentage is 5 and the days got extended by 100 days. So if you're using the formula, so your interest for the delayed release of retention will be 13,698. So this is again another part of your cost incurred in your EOT claim. And finally, we have the communications and the correspondences and all the backups and documents that needs to be attached while submitting your EOT claim. So it should be properly recorded and notified to the client within the stipulated time period. So whenever, if you, as a contractor, if you feel that a delay is happening, this should be properly recorded through letters and should be sent to the client. Or else later on, at the end of the stage when you're submitting your EOT claim, the client can reject this a particular delay, mentioning that you should have notified this to us. You should have notified this to us within that time period, within 10 days or 28 days, whatever is mentioned in the contract. So this is getting rejected. You cannot claim any cost related to this particular delay. So everything should be properly maintained, documented, all the relevant letters, MOM records, instructions that is coming from the client, which is causing this particular any kind of delayed event should be documented, and all this needs to be submitted as a backup when you submit your final EOT claim. So this is a very important part of the EOT claim, without which a successful EOT claim cannot be approved. So that is why a proper coordination needs to be done with all the other departments of a construction project. A quantity survey has to do a proper communication with all the departments for this purpose. So hope you enjoyed this video regarding EOT claim, and hope you have a basic idea about what EOT claim is about, and you can explain this to anyone who asks you, even if you have not practically done it. It is actually rare to for any quantity surveyor to have done this EOT claim in their projects, because mostly this happens at the end of the project, and usually an experienced quantity surveyor usually carries out this. But if you are in your mid career, or if you're in your entry level, if you have this knowledge and if you are asked this in any interview, you can easily crack this question after watching this video and explain it to them and impress them. So please don't forget to subscribe to Quantity Surveying Studio for more important topics related to quantity surveying, related to construction, contracts. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Take care. Bye.